Well, the Democrat Party is doing everything they can to shame Republicans into giving illegal immigrants free money, free food, free health care. They're basically, I mean, they're using hungry children as leverage. It's really disgusting. President Trump is finishing up his tour over in Asia, and he's got some incredible news that we'll go through. I want to go through this and many other stories. To help me do that, I have my special guest, Scott Chene. Scott, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, Stephen, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I know that your audience and your listeners, they absolutely love you. So thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to being on here.
Oh, well, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
So, we're going into a month now of shutdown. The government, you've got President Trump, who's trying to be fiscally responsible. He's trying to end wars around the world. He's bringing in all this private capital. The markets are trying to figure out what they're doing. Gold is doing really well, but now you've got people that are genuinely worried. How are we going to feed our families? What's going to happen? What are your thoughts on Democrats now using children as leverage to try to get money for illegal immigrants and Obamacare tax credits?
It's not only disappointing, but it's not America. You know, Donald Trump, he's the hardest working man that I have ever seen. And I'm really happy to have him as president. I voted for him twice. The concerns are there. You know, we talk to Americans every day, hardworking Americans every day. They're more concerned about how they're going to protect their retirement, how they're going to protect their funds. What do you do in certain times when there's uncertainty and economical challenges that we're facing right now?
Yeah. Let me show you a clip. This is John Thune. He's the top Republican in the Senate. This guy is usually calm as a cucumber. Listen to how he goes off on the Democrats.
And we've tried to do that 13 times. You voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about. And you all have just figured out 29 days in that, there might be some consequences. There are people who run out of money. Yeah, we're 29 days in. And they've done their best to make sure that a lot of these programs are funded. But at some point, the government runs out of money. 13 times, people over here voted to fund SNAP. 13 times they voted to fund WIC. My aching back. Finally realized this thing has consequences. Well, you know what? What Democrats are doing here, they're making plans to keep the shutdown going.
Okay. I want to get your thoughts on this. So they voted 13 times to close the government. They're now they're pushing this big lie that children are going to starve, senior citizens are going to starve. But he correctly points out, by reopening the government, you've got all this money for mothers and children. You've got all this money for the SNAP program. You've got money going back into the economy. Right now, they're saying we're losing billions of dollars every day. Eventually, that catches up to people's paychecks. It catches up to their retirement planning. Your thoughts on what Senator Thune said there?
Man, Senator Thune, I love the intensity. I love his attitude going in there. You hear the fight that he has for the American people. A little bit about my background. Basically, my family, we were military raised. My grandfather was a colonel in the Marine Corps. My uncle is a retired colonel in the Marine Corps. I was a Division I college wrestler for the University of Oklahoma. My dad was a wrestler. So I love that type of intensity. I love that fighting mentality. And that's what we want to see. We want to see people fighting and standing up for the American people. And it's a very, very frustrating time for Americans. There is a lot of uncertainty, and that is why people are seeing this uncertainty and really moving their assets into physical precious metals like gold and silver.
Yeah. Well, they're doing that. They're also putting them into treasuries. I'm going to show you something here from CNBC, but in the last week, we've seen an uptick in the amount of money going into gold and silver. We've also seen a $500 million increase in the amount of money going into treasuries. Let me show this, and then we'll react to it together.
Are you ready to vote with the Republicans to reopen the government at this point as a reasonable Democrat? Maybe others would follow you.
You know, I'm not there yet because we have had literally, Joe, no discussion whatsoever about how we're going to deal with these
This is the right way to do it, Senator? By people not getting paychecks at the TSA? This is extortion. You think this is the right way to do it? In your conscience, you think it's the right way to do it? I never thought I'd say that, Andrew, that it, as a human being, he always says that. As a human being, you think this is the right thing to do? That's your line.
Well, that's why Senator Hawley on Have Our Bill to make sure that folks get the nutrition that they absolutely need is why the president is paying.
So he's like, listen, this is extortion. You're literally keeping millions of people from getting their checks, their paychecks. Your thoughts on them, like using blackmail almost in order to get their way because they don't control the House, the Senate, or the White House.
The government is meant to serve the people. The people right now are not being served. It's hard to watch. It's painful. We have so much news coming in just about the country, the world, the challenges that we're facing, the opposition. You got to be tough and you got to fight for what's right. And I am really happy and thankful that we have Donald Trump as our leader. I'm a believer and I'm also a Republican. I voted for Donald Trump twice, like I said, and I am very thankful that we have him during this time.
Yeah, he is just absolutely doing a great job. I mean, the big theme this last week is the guy just never sleeps. I guess he's been, all over Asia, and they're like, when is this guy sleeping? He keeps having press conferences on Air Force One. He's meeting with global leaders. I mean, the guy is amazing. I want to share some good news that U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent shared. But before I do that, I read late last night, you've got a $500 million increase of money going into short-term treasuries. That's massive. I also read you've got a massive amount of money flowing over into gold and silver. Why are these two safe havens picking up so much money? Is there just fear in the market?
Not only is there fear in the market, there's concern with our dollar and the devaluation of the dollar. As the dollar goes down, typically, historically, gold and silver, they rise. What we're seeing right now is as money's being printed more and more, inflation is a real-time thing. Our dollar is not backed by anything right now. It's backed by debt. That's what's happening. Our country is $38 trillion in debt. Okay. And we're adding, in 71 days, we added another $1 trillion to our debt, October 23rd. So when we're looking at this, we're seeing the dollar, we're seeing other countries wanting to step away from the US dollar. That loses financial security, that loses financial power, and that loses power in the United States. So people are watching this from afar. And they're saying, I want to put my assets in a safe haven place. And they're using gold and silver, which has been around for 4,000 years, since the beginning of time. We like to say here, it's God's money. It's God created. You can't reprint gold and silver. You could reprint the dollar. You can't reprint gold and silver.
Yeah, well. That's alchemy, right? If you could turn lead into gold, you would be a trillionaire. I don't usually do this, but I want to replay this clip and then I'll stop it at the exact moment that even though I like Senator Thune, I'm a Republican, I back Trump, the Congress and their ability to spend money. Listen to one thing and then I'll stop it.
And we tried to do that 13 times. You voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about. And you all have just figured out, 29 days in, that, there might be some consequences. There are people who run out of money. Yeah, we're 29 days in. And they've done their best to make sure that a lot of these programs are funded. But at some point, the government runs out of money.
Right there. At some point, the government runs out of money. We're $38 trillion in debt. It used to be under Biden, you were adding $1 trillion every 100 days. Because of that spending and the momentum, now, like you said, just over 70 days, that's scary to me because we run on the dollar, and yet people want to know when it comes to retirement, where can I put my money? So I say when, you guys sponsor my channel, I say to my audience all the time, go out 20 years. What's going to be worth more, gold and silver or the US dollar? I mean, common sense, right? How would you answer that question?
Well, I appreciate that, Stephen. And we're actually proud to be on your platform and speak about gold and silver. And we want to help your listeners. We want to help your followers. And there is a real need for gold and silver right now. We believe that every single person should have gold and silver in their portfolio. Just a few weeks ago, gold hit over $4,000, an all-time high. We don't see it slowing down. We don't see it slowing down. Like you said, the dollar in the last 10 years, the dollar has lost roughly 25 to 30% of its purchasing power. Reprinting is not going to fix what's happening. When you're $38 trillion in debt, how is that sustainable for any country? And so what we're concerned about is we see a storm and we're trying to help people navigate through that storm. And that's exactly what gold and silver does. I'm a senior portfolio manager. I will walk you through the steps of how it works, what to look for, how to diversify your portfolio, and really go over specific assets that are going to help protect what you have. At the end of the day, customers that we speak to, Americans that we speak to every day, Stephen, they're concerned about losing everything. And think about this. If your money is tied to the US dollar and you have nothing else in your portfolio and that dollar does crash, Stephen, what happens to your finances? What happens to your money? Right? So I like the analogy that you used. It's like if you had two containers, one filled with gold, the other filled with dollars, hundreds, American money, that's worthless. That's reprinted. You can't reprint gold. Look at what gold has done historically. It's on the rise, and we do not see it slowing down. As a matter of fact, Stephen, the central banks right now, not just in the United States, but around the world, they're buying gold and silver at the fastest rate in 58 years. I want to do what the smart money is doing, and people are buying gold because of that. It's a strong, safe haven asset.
Yeah, that's amazing. I want to come back to that because I read something last night that was actually very shocking to me. But I want to share with you and my audience some good news from President Trump's tour over in these different Asian countries. He's picked up another $1 trillion in committed money for jobs and manufacturing. Really, really amazing. But listen to what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had to say, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm going to break the news here on your story is the massive amount of agriculture purchases that the Chinese are going to be doing in this agreement. So the Chinese have agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans during this season, right now, between now and the should be January. And then for the next 3 years, they're going to be buying a minimum of 25 million metric tons per annum for the next 3 years. What I would expect is, as President Trump did in 2020, after President Xi had agreed to the Phase 1 deal, he called him regularly and got him to buy more, and that number went up much higher. The other thing to realize is, in addition to the 12 this year, the 25 per year, 25 million tons per year for the next 3 years. We've also signed trade deals with countries in Southeast Asia, the rest of the world, to buy our soybeans to the tune of another 19 million metric tons. So, our great soybean farmers who the Chinese used as political pawns, that's off the table, and they should prosper in the years to come. They bet.
So, I've been watching these Democrat podcasters and Democrat YouTubers, and they're saying Xi Jinping ate Donald Trump's lunch. Are you kidding me? He just got them to commit to 75-12. So what was that? 80, 75-12, that'd be 8. So 87 million tons of soybeans over the next 3 years. We're talking billions and billions of dollars coming into farmers. And then he picks up another $1 trillion in commitment. In 4 years, Joe Biden didn't get $1 trillion. Donald Trump did it in one trip to Asia. Your thoughts on that?
This is what he does. I mean, this is what our president does. He not only is a businessman, a fighter, but he makes moves and is well respected around the world. And I just think that I am really happy to be an American. I know my grandfather that's not here would have absolutely loved Donald Trump. I can't, do I agree with everything he says and does? Well, I don't agree with everything that my best friend does or says, but man, oh man, I love how he stands up for us. I love how he represents us as a country and as a businessman, and the decisions that he's making. The folks that are listening right now, he makes the right decisions for America. He really does. And we are happy. I'm happy to stand right there next to him and represent our country.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to gold and silver, because I noticed out on the Fox News that was scrolling at the bottom, the price of gold and silver. So I was speaking with my son, and a few years ago, I started saying to him, listen, I can pay you to mow the lawn in dollars, or I can pay you in silver coins. He said, how much are they worth? I said, $22, but I'll pay you $25 for the lawn in cash. And he was like, I don't need the money. I'll take the 22, right?
Of course.
I told him last week, silver just crossed $50. He goes, wow, that's a lot. And I said, you realize all of those silver dollars that I gave you for doing work around the house, they've doubled in money. But the money that I gave you, that would have cut, by 25%. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So before we go into gold, why should some people in my audience be looking at silver as a solid play, especially within an IRA?
It's a great question. So smart money right now are big investors that are putting millions of dollars into gold and silver. What we're doing in specific portfolios is putting these buyers into silver. We see a huge rise and a huge upside in silver over gold. And the reason for that is, one, the price level, is much less than gold. So any specific or any type of movement up is a major percentage that offsets gold, right? If silver goes up 50 cents, the percentage of it going up in your portfolio is much greater than gold and silver going up $100. Does that make sense, Stephen?
Yeah.
Also, silver is used in our country. Solar panels, electronics, you name it. People our country is using silver. And so it is not only a great asset, but that's where the smart money is going right now. And silver is a huge opportunity to upscale. We see upside in it. Not only that, Robert Kiyosaki, he believes that silver is going to hit $75 to $100 by the end of this year.
Wow.
Personally, I could see it getting more expensive than that.
Yeah. Well, just as somebody that owns gold and silver, one of the reasons I shied away from silver is I was taking physical possession of it. But if you're putting it into an IRA, it makes a lot of sense because it's going to be warehoused and you're just looking at the digital and somebody's guarding that for you. So I think anyone in my audience that wants to learn about a self-directed IRA, they should call you guys to learn about that. But the final question I had for you, and I appreciate you coming on, is last night I heard that Ray Dalio, one of the greatest hedge fund managers in the world, he was actually telling people, I'm actually telling people not to put money into US treasuries. I'm actually telling them to reallocate that into gold and silver. Your thoughts on him shifting away from government debt instruments over to something more physical?
Right. It's wealth that you could hold. It's a physical asset that you could hold. What you're doing really is you're substituting what's in dollars and you're transitioning it into gold and silver, physical gold and silver. And you want to make sure that you're working with the appropriate company, someone that knows what they're doing. Stephen, our company, Monetary Gold, we've been in business for over 25 years. Okay. Now that's unheard of in the gold and silver market. We've been in the 2000s area where it's been the .com area. We've been in the 2008 where we had a great crash where gold doubled and silver tripled. We've been through the pandemic. We have seen these things, and historically, we know what we're doing. Okay. Gold and silver is an asset that truly it's a privilege to be in right now. And I'm a believer in it. And what we do here, and it's so important for us, is that at Monetary Gold, really it's the foundation of every relationship that we build. We understand that your precious metals, it's not just an asset. They represent years of hard work, your savings, your financial security. So our commitment to you is to not only provide you with clarity and your listeners with clarity, but confidence, long-term value, long-term support. And I want to also let you know that we update our customers once a month. So this isn't something to where a customer reaches out and says, hey, I want to learn about rolling my money into gold and silver. No, we walk you through that process. We show you how to do it. We pick and choose your metals. And then we actually touch base with you every month to give you updates on what's going on in the economy, what's going on with politics, wars, rumors of wars. We're on top of these things. So it's very important to really have that white glove service to our customers. Another thing is the way that we help our customers, two options. Are you looking to protect cash, or are you looking to protect retirement accounts? And not everyone that reaches out to us should buy gold and silver. Again, it's a privilege. We want to make sure that we could help you. We don't want to hurt you. We want to help you. Our main goal is to protect what you have, and we want to see it grow, Stephen. And I could do that for you. Some of the senior portfolio managers here can do that for you, and we'll walk you through the steps. We're here for our customers, and there's a reason why we have been in the business for 25 years. And I want to get that message across that we're here for our customers.
That's amazing. I've been married for 20 years. You guys are older than my marriage, so that's very encouraging. If people want to learn more, they can go to StephenLovesGold.com, or you can call 800-608-1770. StephenLovesGold.com, 800-608-1770. Scott, thank you so much for spending time. It's amazing what's going on in gold and silver. It's amazing what's going on in our country. President Trump is working so hard. Any final words before we sign off?
There is, actually. And so we've been doing so well with the different shows that we've been on, like Mark Levin and his followers, that we would like to extend. We'd like to extend this for a limited amount of time. What we're looking for is we'll cover the lifetime of your IRA fees, storage fees, and shipping and insurance for qualified applicants. Call now to see if you qualify. And again, people, they buy health insurance before they get sick. They buy home insurance before something happens to their home. They buy fire insurance. Me being from California, don't hold that against me, audience, please. But you buy fire insurance before the fire happens. And I bring up fire because the Palisades, we've had some issues there, and some houses have unfortunately been burnt down. but they buy insurance because of what they believe can happen and the potential of it happening. The economy is very uneasy right now, and we will walk you through the steps. I'll take my time with you and go over the things to help get you protected now. So call now.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on and all that you do for my listeners. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yes, Stephen, God bless you. God bless this country, and God bless Donald Trump.
Thank you.